Hello everyone and welcome to today's session, which is a special one because today we are going to talk about a workflow, a specific workflow for this spectacular project. But through this workflow you will see all the steps that will guide you to be able to create something amazing like this, not only as a still image but also as a video filled up with living action, like people talking in the background, beautiful surrounding, nice and detailed materials, lights, and special effects like fire and videos on screen of a TV. So let's see what we can do with that and how that actually happens when we go through a project like this. So this project, as you can see on screen now, is a very detailed one with a lot of filled up with live, with all sorts of details. These are still images now, but you will see it pretty soon that a video that covers these, an animation, is also a very quick thing to do. But first, let's see how this looks like in ARCHLine. Now we are going to see all the views, all the specific perspectives and the materials that we set up in the design software. Now it's very important that when you work with the model in ARCHLine, then you should at least set up the rendering styles. Those are the styles that tells the software also for live, whether they are marble surfaces or mirror surfaces, metals, pocket or anything like that. And when you pass through this project to live, which will digest this information and turn it into a living model automatically, where you can change the sun position and set up the perfect lighting conditions for your model, you will have all the options to customize and further detail this content that is already sort of an interesting and very well detailed scene already. Now what you can do, first things first, for example with the materials, you can fully customize all of them. And what you need to do is just click on the material surfaces and tell what their size is, what the orientation is. You can even change their brightnesses, reflections, roughness. You can even change the bump map or normal map, whichever you have for that specific surface. And all these things are there for you to be able to customize all the marble surfaces, the metals and everything else. Now, talking about the materials, you will also be able to find high quality detailed PBR materials, physically based materials in the library, which is just a click and drag, and then you can just apply them. Should that be a metal surface, a glass surface, a wooden surface, or something like that, the software is shipped with rich with these surfaces already, which are not there only as a ready-made non-customizable materials, but you can fully customize them as well. You can change their position, you can change their orientation, you can change their reflection and all sorts of other details, should that be an imported material or a existing material in the library. You can even create your own materials, which is an important thing, because you can either use a color or you can use a texture, and you can make it reflective. You can change its bump mapping, bump surface or something like that, and when you are happy with the result, you can leave it untouched, or if you want, and you can just make it a little bit more dense. You can change its brightness, you can change its roughness to find that perfect balance between the settings. And as you can see, you have a continuous and fluent feedback where you can see all those changes right away, immediately happening in the visual. Now, talking about the floor, that is also a dynamic material in the software. I mean, this is something that you can see all around, so it's an important thing to set up properly. What I do now is I just set up the size. I have chosen a texture, the bump map, and then I just change the brightness, the roughness and all sorts of materials live during the design, and see how they end up being a nice, beautiful floor. Talking about PBR materials, and the software supports all sorts of PBR channels, like the normal maps, the specular maps, the ambient occlusion, roughness and everything else. So if you have a texture selection for all of those things that you can perhaps, for example, download from texturehaven.com or any other places, or you can even purchase such PBR textures, PBR materials, you can just browse them and turn them into a living, detailed, nice textile or wooden surface, or whichever your choice may have been for this specific furniture piece, or should that be a furniture part like a wooden surface, a front, or a metal surface, or any other material that you can imagine. Now these are things that you can immediately change, and all those are true also for the light sources. Now whenever you import a model, whenever you pass through the model from ARCHLine to live, all the light sources are already there. You can turn them on or off, you can change their intensity, their temperature, you can even turn them to cast shadows or to be effective as only helper lights. Now helper lights are a little bit more cheap, but on the other hand, shadow casters actually cast shadow that will create a nice and interesting effect that you will see under this part as here on the floor. So it is a little bit more kind of like touching the ground, and it's really feeling like it's there on the floor. So this is something that you can choose one by one. The reason why it's not automatic, because it's kind of a performance depending thing. So you should only choose to light source to be shadow casters for the ones that you really would like to emphasize. Now here, this is an example. If you forgot to create or add light sources in the design software, in the BIM design software in ARCHLine, and you realize it only here in the design, the visual design phase, then you can just use those light sources. Those are there, fully customizable. You can change their position, you can change their intensity, temperature, and everything else, just as you would do with an imported light as well. But on the other hand, you can also synchronize all those changes from the design software during the work. Whichever option you like best will work. Also, you can change the material to be, for example, emissive, as you can see here, to kind of further emphasize that this is actually a glowing source of light from within this little half sphere. And this is a very quick and very effective trick that you can use all around wherever you have a light source. There are also built-in backgrounds in the library that you can just click and drag and they automatically appear. You can even rotate them, and this is something that you can do with all sort of other imported items. You can just change their position, you can change their material, you can just change their orientation, and you can also use the built-in library, which is rich in dynamic living room decoration content or little plants. You can even paint the surrounding with trees and bushes and other foliage. And of course, just as you can see on screen, the software is shipped with electric appliances such as a TV screen or something like that. Now, a TV screen is actually a little bit more interesting, because this is a surface that is not only kind of a decorative part like a photograph would be, or a painting on a surface would be, but usually those surfaces host videos. Now this is a point where you can actually use the ready-made videos that you can find in the software. Just take care with the orientation, the ratio, but you can also create your own video content. You can go and browse whatever freely downloadable video or your own edition have on the hard disk, and then you can just turn it into a material, just as you've seen on the screen, and just click and drag, and it will play automatically looped on this TV screen. And if it has a sound, it will also play automatically. There are so-called effects: fire, smoke, and candle fire, and also steam, which you can just click and drag. The size is there, clothing sizes like L, M, S, or XS. Those are also freely customizable. You can change their position, size, and everything else. Now, let's see an interesting example here to fill up this specific kitchen also with live. If I have something that I have downloaded in the design software in the meantime, I can just send it over using this option to send it over to the libraries of live. So it's actually a living connection between the software in many levels. And you can find this pot, for example, in this case, you can just click and drag many pieces. You can change their size, you can stretch it if you want, or even if you want, you can change their position, you can change the material, you can create several interesting copies of this object. But let's not stop there, because this is something that I wanted to fill up with steam, because this is actually a kitchen and that is already kind of like in action. Someone is cooking in this kitchen. I will place this person later. As you can see, there is this little sphere which is the source of the steam, which is very easy to, which makes this otherwise really difficult to grab steam to position, but with this sphere you are able to position it over or inside this little pot, and it really looks like there is something is in the cooking in this kitchen. And now there are also animated, ready to use human figures in the software. You can place Sophia, you can place Manuel, you can place any other characters. And as you can see, right whenever you place them, they are already living, breathing persons, and you can even change what they do. You can make them walk, you can make them talk, you can make them run or jog around in the park, for example, in the surrounding, and you can easily set up a conversation like this. So they will be the supporting actors of this beautiful visual. And also you can bring in other details, other assets, like if you have downloaded something, like this is a downloaded object and in OBJ format, you can go to the import option, and then the software will automatically read it, show you a preview. You can change the scaling if you would like to, and you can import it into the library. So from that point on, you can use that imported object just as you would do. You would use any other of those. You can just click and drag. You can change the position. You can change the material. For example, I would like to turn this into a glass pot, glass surface, and I can just click and drag the glass, and I can customize it if I want. To further emphasize this scene, I can even turn the light into real shadow caster lights, so it feels like those lemons are really there, because they have cast shadow on this marble surface. Okay, so sooner or later we'll get to a point where we are now, when the lights are there, the materials are okay, we also have special effects, we have talking people, we actually made this interior a living piece. And then now I would like to create my own photographs. I would like to customize the exposure. I can customize the brightness, contrast, saturation. I can also turn on the global illumination, which makes it really realistic. With all the bouncing lights in the interior, just as you would see in a ray trace renderer, for example, something similar. And you can also change the bloom, vignetting, chromatic aberration to create all those imperfections that make those nice pictures really lifelike. Also, you can change the temperature of this, the white balance, to make it a little bit more warm. And you can, the same way, you can just set up more and more other views, and you can even use the so-called automatic lens shift, which, as you can see, will keep the verticals nice verticals. So this will allow you to create beautiful professional shots without having to worry about the orientation. I mean, the pitch of the camera. You can even turn on the depth of field, which will emphasize all the things that are in focus of the camera, and the rest will be a little bit more blurry. And the same way, you can actually create animation. Now, an animation is an easy piece. You only need to set up the first frame. Now I actually added the first frame, but I have changed my mind, so I would like to refine, and I would like to start an animation from, for example, somewhere from this corner point of this interior, so from somewhere from here. So once I find the perfect spot, I can update the view, and then I can add another keyframe. These are so-called keyframes that will drive your animation. So you can set up 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever amount of keyframes you would like to, and the software will go through it. It will automatically animate these keyframes one into the other in the given time. Now all you need to do is just to set the first frame, the second frame, and perhaps the rest if you would like to add a little bit more. Now we have a 13 seconds long animation that is starting from the first keyframe and ends at the end keyframe, which is already a beautiful shot of this nice and detailed interior. So the same way, you can create a new animation. You can create as many animations as you would like to, and then you can stitch them into one single video file in the end. So I'm creating creating the new animation, the second animation, and this second animation is the one that I'm going to set up starting from the TV shot, for example, and the second, the ending keyframe will be somewhere behind this little nice decorative item, and I think I should also turn on the depth of field to make it a little bit more blurry and make it more focused on the TV and what happens in the background. So this way you can actually create several pieces of your animation. The software will automatically stitch them together. All you need to do is just to check the preview, whether you like it or not. You can change it. You can, whenever you would like to, you can still customize it, edit it. And once you like the final result, and let's see how this looks like. We're starting from the left, panning through to the right, and having a nice shot of this conversation in the background and showing the beauty of this interior. And also we have a shot going from this television from to the background. So these are the two shots that we have, and then we can just generate this video file in one single go. The software will actually render this video frame by frame very quickly. In a few minutes you will have an HD quality result in a video file that you can just click on. You can play it in any sort of video player, and your clients will be able to play it on their smart TVs, mobile phones, or you can even upload those into any of your social accounts or to your website. So this is it. This is what we have done in this very short time with this interior, and I hope you liked it. And this is what I wanted to show you. I hope that this final result is something that was easy to follow and easy to catch up with me. But if not, if it was a little bit fast, then just rewind it. This live webinar will be available there for you to rewatch at any time. And I'm very happy I could show you this workflow, because I think it's a very interesting thing, seeing how all those workflow pieces are stitching into one single workflow, and showing you how you can create such an spectacular visual, should that be a still image or an animation. I hope you liked this content, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up. This way you can show us that you are interested in other topics like this. And also, if you did not do so yet, please subscribe to our channel so you will be able to catch up with other content that we will upload pretty soon. That was it for today. I'm looking forward to meet you next time and see you there in the following session. Goodbye.